I just inject it into my bloodstream.
Yes.
I love games so much. So, anyways, yeah, let's jump back into the game. So we just did our prep and we just did our setup. If you're just joining us, we're doing a quest called the Dragon. We are going to be a group and we're going to try to slay a monster. And in our group, we decided that we're going to try to slay a lich. And this lich is obviously very magical, like very high fantasy kind of stuff. Only our group is very not on the same
Shitty.
page when it comes to this quest here. We have a lot of varying motivations and needs from each other about what we want to do. And now we're getting ready to actually begin play and kind of see that stuff start to unfold. So, I'm going to read a little bit from the book here, and then we're going to start creating our challenge, our very first challenge, and going from there. Okay? So, because this is actually very important to how the game will be played. Knowing when, like, what's an appropriate scene and that kind of stuff is important. So that's why I'm going to do this. To complete the quest, our fellowship will face 3 challenges. We won't know what challenges will confront us at the start. We'll only know that they will arise. Each challenge is something we need to do to get closer to our goal, killing the Lich. When a player picks a challenge, they establish that it is the next important step we need to take in our quest. If we succeed, we get closer to victory. If we fail, or ignore or refuse the challenge, it doesn't mean the quest immediately fails, but it makes us harder for us to succeed at the end. The third challenge is different. It decides the outcome of the entire quest. When you pick the third challenge, you're saying that everything that has happened, the final task, is what we must do to finally succeed in our quest. It will make or break us. So during each round, we'll play scenes to see what the Fellowship does to overcome that specific challenge. We will use scenes to lay groundwork and put our plans in motion. We'll explore your characters and why they're here, but we won't find out if we actually succeed at the challenge until all the scenes have been played out. Alright? We may think things are going well or poorly, but we won't learn the outcome until we get to the climax. Alright? And when we get to the end of the third challenge and decide the entire quest, if we succeed or fail, the first 2 challenges, and if we succeed or fail at the first 2 challenges, they'll directly influence our chances at victory. Okay, so we're basically playing Legends of the Hidden Temple here.
Love it.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to open this up and ask for some suggestions or volunteer here for starting a challenge. One player is going to pick a challenge from the quest sheet. The quest sheet's the one that says quest, slay the dragon that terrorizes the realm right there, right? There's a bunch of challenges below that. One player is going to pick a challenge from that sheet, and that player's next step is going to be... I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Alright, so when that person selects that challenge, they're going to describe the situation that confronts the Fellowship and bring it to life. They're not going to talk about how the Fellowship is addressing the problem. We're going to leave that all to scenes, okay? So that player who picks that challenge, they're also going to pick which main character they think would decide how to deal with this problem. You obviously can't pick your own characters. That player will then make the first scene. So the player choosing the problem will also be choosing the person who makes the first scene, because they can't be the same person. Okay? We're all good? I know I just said a lot of stuff. Just threw up a bunch of words at you guys, but hopefully some of it stuck. And then we're going to actually play scenes. Alright? Does someone else actually want to read the play scenes part? We're on page 13 of the PDF.
Let me pull up my PDF and I can do that.
Do you want to maybe, should we take turns real quick? Reading it? Because it's important.
You can read it.
Okay, go ahead and start reading the first paragraph about play scenes, and then read to who, what, and where for me, Sam.
Alright. If you're in a scene, say what your character does, says, or thinks. Play and see what happens. End the scene when it feels like you've made your point, earlier rather than later. No matter how well or badly things are going, no one is allowed to describe the Fellowship definitely succeeding or failing at the challenge yet. We won't know if we win or lose until after all the scenes have been played. Each player controls the fate of their characters unless the rules say otherwise. If you want to do something to another character, describe the action and your intended effect, and the other player controlling that character will decide the outcome. Is that where it's...
I'm not sure where you're reading.
Oh. I read play and see what happens instead of play scenes. That's entirely my fault.
That's totally fine.
Um,
That's still important advice. That's good. Then, would someone else want to go?
Each player makes one scene during the challenge. The player chosen by the person who picked the challenge makes the first scene, followed by each other player clockwise. Use your scenes to show how your character is dealing with the challenge. We won't see if we succeed or fail at the end of the challenge until after everyone has made a scene and we have come to the climax. Lay the groundwork and take action, but don't jump to the conclusion. Explore your relationships with other members of the fellowship and your thoughts about the quest.
Cool. In AP, page 13.
To set the scene, say who is there, what's going on, and where it's happening. Who, what, and where. One of your own characters must be in your scene, main or minor, but you can include any other characters you want, including characters who are not part of the fellowship. The player creating the scene has final say over who is present. You may have better, tighter scenes when the focus is on just a few people, instead of including lots of players in every scene.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last part here is consequences. If you describe your character succeeding at something particularly difficult, you must describe how your action puts another member of the fellowship in danger or difficulty. Anyone can call for a consequence if a player describes succeeding at something that sounds difficult or dangerous. If you can't think of a consequence, you can ask other players for suggestions. If you refuse to include a consequence, change your narration so you don't succeed or you suffer a setback. So if you guys have ever played Polaris or Downfall, when you can trigger something like but only if or but there is a consequence, this is very much a similar idea where there's a twist, and we're all playing because we're all trying to play to make a most interesting story possible. That's kind of like possible, but I feel like we have enough twists in our own motivations here. I have one little extra paragraph here that I wanted to read underneath Death and Abandoning the Fellowship because it's very important. At the start of the game, we are required to create characters that want to work together and succeed at the quest. But what if things happen during play that changes that? What if you decide you want your character to quit the quest or turn against the Fellowship and find their own path to victory? Go right ahead. Roleplay whatever makes sense to you. The vote at the end of the challenge will reflect whatever choices you make, so no character is required to stick to the mission. You could even decide to have your main character die or leave the quest entirely. If you do, just play your minor character as your main character. If you turn against the Fellowship completely, you could keep playing your main character, but use your scenes to show yourself trying to stop the quest. Again, that works because the vote is based on whatever transpires. Alright, so we're doing the scenes, we're going to take turns each doing a scene, and then we do our vote about the challenge, okay? So I feel like we just talked a lot about how it's going to work, but we're going to see it in action, and then we're going to like answer any kind of questions that might come up from that, and then be good, okay? So, does somebody want to be the first person to select a challenge? Otherwise, I would be more than happy to do it.
Why don't you go ahead, Eric?
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get the weapon that can slay it. I feel like that's the most important part. So,
that was exactly what I would have picked.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna put grab the paintbrush tool when I wanted a number. I'm gonna mark this down somewhere in a text box. So I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna make a challenges section here. I'm gonna make a 1, and I'm gonna call it get the weapon that can slay it. All right. So, what? So this lich is obviously impenetrable to all normal weapons and mere swords. We're all going to need. I'm trying to think of a cool way to describe what we need to do for this weapon or weapons. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we need. We're going to need to grab. This is going to be like a Rod of 7 Parts scenario, where like we're trying to. Yeah, we're going to try to rebuild. Actually, we need a shield. The shield prevents the magic from affecting the lich. And the reason, so like I'm thinking maybe this could be wrong. This is just what Sir Castrian maybe believes. But there is a shield, and it's called the Aegis, right, or the Aegis. And the shield can nullify magic. So the idea is that but the shield has been fractured, and so if we can get this shield, we can finally fight the Lich on our terms. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking of the weapon. So it's not necessarily the weapon that can slay it. It is. But
here's a question.
What?
Did the Lich maybe create it by accident?
Maybe. We'll figure that in play.
I like if it was like maybe older. I mean, yeah, we'll play it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So I think the person who would. All right. So that's sort of the premise of the challenge here, and now I have to select a player who I think would decide how to deal with this problem. I think the person who knows the most about weapons should decide. So I think I'm going to get this over to Chunk. All right. So Chunk's going to set the first scene.
So, are we in this barren and lawless? Yeah, we are. Okay, so the land is barren and lawless.
This could be like us still at the kingdom getting ready, right?
So Chunk has his greatsword out and is taking a whetstone to it. But the sword clearly doesn't need any of this. It's very shiny and well polished, and is the best part of all of his equipment, which is mostly kind of ratty leather armor. And Chunk's just like talking to, let's say, Castrin is there, almost certainly, right? An end would need to be there to get them to the place they need to go to. That sounds reasonable, right? That's who.
You have authority, my friend.
I mean, I'm looking for a little bit of head nods from people, but I think the journey's already begun. We're in the middle of nowhere, probably in like a desert along a coast. So we're on like a sandy beach, and what is it? Who, what, and when?
Yeah, like daytime, nighttime, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Who,
it's
what,
dawn.
and where? But yeah,
Dawn. And Chunk is sharpening the sword and just turns to Sir Castrin and is like, you know, I never put much stock in anything that isn't a sword, but I have heard of this shield that can do stuff. I didn't really pay attention.
Chunk, you've always been of a simple mind, but fortunately, you're
insulting.
Well, you're not part of this fellowship for that. You're part of this fellowship for your extreme prowess with your weapons and tools.
So it's like an average prowess. Better than average?
Oh,
I
superb.
wouldn't say extreme.
Think total willingness to kill. Just slowly nods his head at Chunk.
All right, and
I'm somebody. I'm somebody who has put his beliefs and stuff into something the immaterial his entire life.
Yeah, that seems like huge waste to me.
Well, this huge waste is our key to our salvation, so you better listen up, Chunk.
It sounds like the key to our salvation is a shiny metal object. That's a material thing, right?
Material.
Let me ask you this: Do you believe it? Do you believe that this shield, the Aegis, can prevent magic?
I mean,
Do you believe the legends?
Yes.
What is that, Chunk?
I'm still curious as to how a lich can't be hurt with a sword. Okay, if you hit a rock enough with a sword, eventually one of them will break, and you'll probably chip the rock. All right. I'm fairly certain if I just keep hitting the lich. Listen, probably everyone else that went to face the lich just wasn't good enough, and I might be good enough. But I'm a little worried maybe I'm not, and I'd be perfectly fine to have Castrin standing in the front with a shiny piece of metal.
Yeah,
Chunk.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Consider getting this shield an insurance policy in case hitting it with a sword the way that you so prescribe doesn't work, Chunk.
I don't understand any of the words you just said.
Sword not work. Magic make death
Listen,
hard.
Magic is something people tell other people that's real so that they'll believe their lies. All right? I've seen the
You're
things...
saying that to a dead man.
I know. I've
Dead,
seen the
but
things
not dead.
sorcerers do with cards, flash paper. It's all chemistry and science.
Trunk. Stab end with sword. See what happened.
And I would love to do that, but I promised Sir Castron that I wouldn't do that.
End offer. End give consent.
I am bound by several contracts and probably a death warrant at some point, so...
Yeah, that's stabbing a friend here is strictly out of contract.
I really don't understand why, but...
Castron end friend. End dead. End not have friend.
And you can't be dead. You're clearly standing here talking to us.
He reaches up and pulls off like a flap of skin off his cheek, and then just puts it back.
You don't need to try to impress me with your science, and I'm not some charlatan that can be taken in with your street tricks. I've been around places, and I know how this works.
I think you mean harlot. Charlatan do trick. And remember. And then End turns around and starts walking off.
I'm just looking at Sir Castron, and I'm just I know that I wouldn't want him as a harlot for sure. Castron's
I
just want to be clear here. That's not how I roll, okay, buddy?
Yeah, agreed. And all right, so let's say we go get this shield, eh?
Well, I mean, I don't really know where it's at.
End walking. Follow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I guess Ed knows where it's at.
All right, that's probably.
If you know where it was at, why didn't you just tell us?
End guessing.
Well,
all right. That's probably seen.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, clockwise, right?
Yeah. So
I
guess
your turn.
All right,
Eric.
it's to me. All right. Let's see. Well, we're traveling through the barren wastes, and let's see. What is the problem here? We're traveling through the waste because we have to get this shield, and oh man, yeah, it's like an ancient temple or something, like in these rocky cliffs, and something like that place in Israel. What's it called? It's sort of like that ancient civilization.
Petra.
The Petra, yeah, it's something like that, right? Like the Petra. I think of something like that. And we get up to it, and it sort of has solid stone doors, right? And they're sealed, and there's some kind of inscription above it that I can't read. That's some kind of magical seal or some kind of literal seal and lock on these doors, and we're stuck outside in front of this place, and we know that, or we think that the shield's inside of this place. So, this would be a scene. I think this would be basically pretty much everyone's here who's in the group, in our caravan, would be here, and I think I'm going to open the scene with Sir Castron going over to Barty, being like, "I can't make sense of this door. We've been out here for hours. What do you think?"
I will take a crack at it. And he just sort of walks up, and he does that thing when Gandalf's trying to open the door to Moria, where he just starts trying everything he can think of that might magically open this door.
Yeah.
And every few minutes he looks over his shoulder and is making very good headway. Oh, almost done. And yeah, he has no idea. He has no idea how to.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just chanting around, and we just have no idea. I look to N and be like, N, what do you think? This isn't working. How are we gonna do this door?
Sign, lich. Lich make sign. Lich make sign.
Alright, hold on. MTO, can you turn off your camera and turn it back on real quick?
Sorry. I
Yeah, it's fine.
Better?
Yeah, it was just, we're fixing, Sam's microphone. That's all.
Anyway, so yeah, Ing looks up at it and is just like, Lich make sign. Keep out. Let In try. And I think In just like walks up to it and puts his hand on it and just waits for a second.
I frantically begin making it look like I'm also doing something while you're doing this, just in case the door opens.
What's Chunk doing?
Well, Chunk isn't really a manual labor kind of guy. He's more of a putting a sword in somebody kind of guy. So he's probably just sitting back talking to his sister.
Okay. So we're stuck at this door. Who else could
I think In takes a step back and just Spartan kicks the door in.
Yeah.
Or at least tries to. I don't know if it probably works. I'm not sure. Can
Yeah,
everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I
So-
think,
Chunk is just like, well, why didn't you just start with that?
so what do you do to open the door? Because
I
I
think
have
In just kicks it in.
So I don't think that would work, only because I imagine like gigantic fucking doors, like, you know, like bigger than the door to Moria, and it's made of stone. Like, you couldn't kick it in. What I think would happen would be, we have to wait till like nighttime or something like that, and like different like runes turn on at nighttime that like allow us to see what's going on, because it's like obfuscated, or it's like an eclipse or something like that.
Yeah, what if it's like what you're saying is like a certain time of day. It's like got to be like as the sun is setting or whatever.
Yeah.
And because like I like the idea that like we're all like doing these different things, and like the whole time like Barty's pretending to make progress, like End's trying to do something, and then all of a sudden at like a certain time the door just like flashes.
So you're like, yeah, so like you're kicking it and it does open.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so then I'm like, oh, well, I knew it had to be one of those things.
Oh,
See.
awesome. Yeah. Okay. So that'd be seen.
Good job, Balthasar Trez.
I really
I-
feel like kicking the door would have worked.
I do not think kicking the door would have worked.
Kicking door work for Balthasar Trez help.
All right, that's the scene. So now it goes to Sam.
All right. I think I want to see a scene of like what is protecting this shield, because we've talked about like how it's in pieces. So I want to see like sort of like a scene of like the obstacle that is in the way of this piece that we're going after.
You construct that.
Yeah, I'm
When it's your
trying to
turn, you can come up with that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly. So I think, like, like this door opens, and we get inside, and I think as we're coming in, we activate sort of like these defenses, and all on the floor, strewn across our bones, and they start to come alive.
Okay, so we got like some like undead stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unclear who put this stuff here, but it could be the Lich, is trying to make sure that nobody puts the shield back together. And I think the bones don't really do like a standard skeleton thing. I think they just sort of like come together in like random shapes and just form this like bone monstrosity thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, cool. So like, in
It's
terms of
with
the
you.
giant thing. So what is this? So like, what is your character doing, and like, and that kind of stuff? Like, what are we doing as a group?
Oh, we are just like all inside, and I think that's like as the door seals shut behind us. What else? So that's what, who, when.
All right.
I think the first thing Barty does is says, "Trunk, hit it with your sword."
Yeah. And I say like Sir Catherine looks at Chunk too, and like does like that sort of like nod thing before like rushing to fight this beast or this monster thing, like charging at it.
And I also start whispering incantations.
I think Ind has like Ind's like the guide, right? I imagine before Ind died, Ind was like a hunter or like a scout or something like that, and he has like his big spear, but instead of a metal spearhead, it's like a femur that's been sawed sharp or something like that. Something real dumb. And I think he just like tries to poke at the bone monster with it while you do that.
Okay. Well, this gets, if someone can step in and say this gets resolved in a particular way, but remember, like, if you resolve something in an amazing way, and like if we defeat this monster, there's a consequence, right, or that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind.
I mean,
Can we do like the video game cheese and like In grabs it and tackles it off a cliff or something? And then the complication would be Ind is at the bottom of a cliff because he has the next scene.
Yeah.
What
What is going? Who has the cats that are like?
it's me. It's me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It becomes very obvious that poking at it isn't working, and then In just like drops his spear, just runs, flying leap, tackles the thing off a cliff.
I thought we said no Gandalfs. Heyo.
We've also been breaking that a lot.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Yeah,
We're letting it is,
no Gandalf has gone out the window very
Well,
fast.
no. Well, I thought it was like no, like ancient angel wizards is what I thought it.
Yeah,
would
I was thinking more than anything
That's-
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
no.
a
it's-
really bad wizard, so I'm not really very good at Gandalf.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gandalf was a good wizard either. He just kind of made stuff catch fire on occasion.
He was actually a priest. Believe it or
Yeah,
not.
he's kind of a god.
Pretty druidy to me. Well, with all this fucking acorn bombs,
Yeah, that's true.
calling on giant fucking butterflies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right. Moving on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and tackles it down, screaming.
That sounds like a
I-
pretty good consequence. What do
I
you do?
think like as you like fall down, I like make like a rock or something like glow, and just am like, and take this, and like toss it down after you. So
I think that's probably seen then, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then we go to MTO.
I think. Does anyone? I don't know if anyone would come down after Ind. I think you all are about to go to the. I think. Yeah, no, Ind's at the bottom of the hole alone, pretty much. With a destroyed bone monster that died when it fell. And I think we get the like survey of the pit, and there's like boulders and spikes and stuff because it's a pit in a dungeon, and why wouldn't there be spikes at the bottom of it?
Yeah.
And maybe like End is like impaled on a spike, and End is just like feeling the like spike trying to like pull himself out.
Oh God.
Okay, so you're at the bottom of a cliff, and
Yep, impaled on a spike.
well, I told Chunk, I'm like, still think he's not living?
End okay.
Yeah, and we can see him because of the light of the rock.
Yeah.
And the rock like landed on my face or something like that.
My friend Gustav survived something like this.
I think that's the point when you see that End's arm is definitely like bent the wrong way.
Well,
Oh, friend.
it's gonna be a hard life for him, but hopefully he can still track.
Your friend
What?
Gustav is a medical marvel.
What will it take for you to believe in things bigger than just your ego?
Didn't you see me make that rock glow?
Well, I assumed it was some sort of magnesium you coated the rock in.
Magnesium? Can someone help End out of hole?
Yeah, I help you out of the hole. Definitely Chunk goes over and like drops a rope. It's like, all right, Ed, listen, I'm gonna need you to like hold your insides together until we can get to a surgeon, okay? So I need you
End don't
to
have
hold the rope.
many insides left.
Okay, listen, buddy, you gotta hold the rope and your insides at the same time. It's gonna be pretty difficult.
End arm fucked.
Okay,
Can't
well,
hold rope.
can you tie a rope with one hand?
Tie rope.
You know what?
Ow.
I think we're gonna have to lower somebody down there.
I vote you.
I vote Brightstaff. I don't think he's done very much so far.
Yeah.
He's
No, I was,
old.
actually, that's funny. I think I was going to say that Darren probably volunteers.
Yeah, he volunteers, but I'm not looking that direction, so I'm still talking. I'm like, he's old. We could afford to lose him. He hasn't done anything useful so far.
And he's like he's already like halfway down when you say that.
I'm
Alright.
just like, there's a bit of weight on the oh, hey,
Bye,
sir.
bright stuff.
Okay.
Thank you. And like, do we end on End being like hauled out of the pit by Brightstaff,
Um,
or do we want to resolve it more? I feel like we did.
no. I think that is, but I think what's the consequence here then? I think
The consequence.
yeah.
You think End is pretty messed up, whether you're
I think
admit
it's
it or
the
not.
End is fucked. End's arm is fucked.
I feel like we need a new guide, probably.
No, he can still guide. He's just he can't really fight much anymore.
Well, we need
I was
to
thinking about trying to.
what's the climax? How does climaxing work again? Yeah.
Eric, come on.
What is the Fellowship doing that will decide the challenge once and for all? So once we're done this scene, what we're doing is, we're going to describe the final scene that really sets up like the question if we succeed or fail. From here, what we're going to do is the player who made the first scene starts narrating the climax, and the other players will then start joining in. If the characters disagree or the following or are following different plans, each player can describe what their character is doing. The Fellowship does not have to be united. When you reach the critical moment, we would see that if the Fellowship succeeds or fails, stop, and we're going to follow the instructions to determine this outcome. Okay? So, yeah, so I think we see the group, we make it sort of like the hidden temple area, and like resting on like a stand or whatever on top of an altar is this like shimmering golden shield that looks like it's like broken, like the different pieces are like the different shards of it are all like held together, like they're all being stood together, so like the shield's not united, it's all like a broken plate, right? So like all the different pieces though are all like standed on this place, so it needs to be reforged, essentially. So like I think we're there and we're getting ready to grab the pieces. And I think that's where we're going to do the climax, to see if we grab it and if it magically comes together, or like I don't know, some other kind of like random shit. So we're going to do the climax now. So here's what we're going to do. The way this is going to work, because we don't have white and red tokens because we're playing on the internet, it's going to be a custom dice roll. So I'm going to start making down a list here of the different tokens and stuff and distributions. So this list here is going to be what represents what's in our bag and what we draw. So we're going to, when we roll a number on this, it's going to be like we're going to erase that number like it was removed from a bag, right? So it's like choosing something without replacement. So the first thing we do is we start with a white and a red token. White tokens represent good, red tokens represent bad. Now each player is going to have 2 tokens in your hand right now, okay, when we're doing this, okay? So let me actually bring this over on to the screen because we're going to actually be typing some stuff here now, guys. Here's what's going to happen. So we all have up to 2 red tokens we can add to this pool here. So answer this question honestly. Keep it to yourself for the time being, and I'll tell you what to do and how to visually show what you actually have decided on screen. So answer this question in your head. If your main character is unhappy about the path your fellowship has taken, hold 1 red stone, which means you would reveal 1. If your main character actually wants the quest to fail, hold 2 red stones. Otherwise, hold no red stones. So what you're going to do is you're going to type without pressing enter 0, 1, or 2 in terms of the degrees of how much you think this place should be failing or this challenge should be failing in terms of what your main character is thinking about, okay? And then on the count of 3, we're going to press enter. Okay? So
Should we clap too? Is that a thing?
no. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, enter.
Oh, wait.
Okay?
Oh, never mind. Please continue.
So I'm going to go so when I say 1, 2, 3, enter, we're gonna reveal how many red tokens we want to add to our bag. Okay? In roll 20. So 1, 2, 3, enter.
Yay!
Cool. So no red tokens. Cool. So now we're going to do the same thing again. But this time, each player is going to take 1 white token and 1 red token. The way we're going to represent this is 0 is white and 1 is red. Okay? So in a very similar pattern like we just did, answer this question in your head. As a player, do you think the fellowship did what was necessary to succeed at the challenge? Hold white if yes, red if no. Alright, we're going to decide secretly here. Once again, 0 is white and 1 is red.
Can you repeat one more time? Which player are we basing this on? Our own?
As a player playing this game.
Okay.
Do you think the fellowship did what was necessary to succeed at the challenge? Hold white if yes, red if no. So 0. So get ready to type 0 if you think yes we did what was necessary, or get ready to type 1 if you think we didn't do was enough that's necessary. Okay. So once again, 3, 2, 1, enter. Okay. So we add 2 whites and 2 reds.
I just don't think we did much of anything.
Yeah.
Some guy fell off a cliff and we tried to get him back.
Perfectly reasonable.
We literally fell in a hole.
So now we put the stones in the now without looking, we're going to draw a stone and reveal it. So I'm going to go ahead and start rolling the die here. So that we have 6 dice total, or 6 tokens total. So I'm going to roll a d6 for the first one. We got a 3, which is a white token. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to erase the white token, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put white over in challenges here. Let me see if I'm going to make sure. Okay, everyone can see that on screen. All right. So now we're going to do a d5 and see what the other token is. 2. We got a red token. So we got a white, and then we got a red token.
Somebody died.
So this is what it means. When we get a white token and a red token, the challenge was lost, and we lose 1 character. So
wow,
now,
that's brutal.
yes. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to play out what that scene, I guess, looks like. The draw only indicates the minimum you must lose. Okay. So this is the minimum of how much we must lose. Okay. So what does this look like?
I'm probably leaning over the pit. I got an idea. I'm just like, Castrin, You know, I did hear a legend that if undead eat the flesh of a living being, they can gain a whole bunch of power back and repair themselves. If End really is undead, should we be lowering Brightstaff down there? Isn't it like holding a piece of chicken over him? And I'm still letting the rope go down. This is happening. For me, it's like a joke, but...
So we lose Sir Darren?
I don't know about actually.
See, we're past that scene though. We're like we're in the sort of like Indiana Jones with the treasure.
Oh, are we?
I think
Yeah, with the relic of
What
the
if the treasure
shield.
was down at the bottom of the pit, though?
No, we're at the relic.
Well, Eric needs to start the scene anyway, so
I already did start the scene. So the
Oh,
climax
okay.
is happening in this like hidden like once again, like we're in the treasure chamber of this ancient temple, and there's 7 pieces of this shield, all like the broken parts of them are all like set up and scattered on this temple, on this altar.
Yeah, so I do agree. I think it works for like Redstaff to be the one who goes out, but I think maybe we should give him a little bit more dignified of an exit. Like maybe
I think
defends our escape or something.
I have a proposition.
Oh, I know what it is. But go ahead. I mean, I have an idea, but go ahead.
I have a reason. We fail, correct?
Yes.
We fail to get the thing. I think End walks up to the shield, like the assembled pieces of the shield, and like grabs them and tries to push them together. And then we just see like rust start to seep from where End's hands are onto the shield.
So you like destroy the shield?
I think the necromantic magic destroys the shield.
I'm telling you, chemistry.
So I think
Chemistry.
Darren. So okay, so then I think what happens is like Darren flies in a rage at you for doing it, but you end up like killing him or something like that.
Maybe it's even less that I end up killing him, but maybe he like tries to push me off the cliff again, or like he grabs me and I like sidestep him and he goes into the pit.
So he's allowed to kill people, but I'm not, Castron. Is that right?
Well, if you'd let a professional deal with the shield in the first place.
I'm like, just shut up, Chunk. Just shut up. That's all I
I
said.
don't understand.
You know, I'm like
Why
really.
wouldn't he washed his hands? It's clear that the salt in his sweat.
Right staff. Right staff dead.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You ruined the shield.
Right staff dead.
Yeah, but you ruined the shield. That's more important.
It's much more
Are you
important.
sure that's more important?
God,
I
would you
really
shut up, Chunk? It's like obviously.
dead.
I mean,
Right staff dead. Right
I'm
staff
not shutting you down. This is my character thinks that your character is.
I know.
Okay, I know. Okay, I
Right
just want you to
staff
know. Okay, yeah.
I think End like End maybe like before they went into this area got his like arm bandaged up by Olivia, even though it's not really helping. I think End is like turns to her and be like, Wivia, can you save Brightstaff if I go get?
He's already dead.
He's
Leave
gone. We have
He
to.
does seem pretty dead.
Your necromantic energies destroyed this relic. We have to find another way now.
It's clearly the salt.
Not
on his
mine, Lich. Lich made me.
I told
End
you.
want End. End not want to be End.
Enough.
Okay.
This is a disaster. We must find another way.
So in the future, can we all agree to let the professionals do their jobs? This is why I'm here. Why do you even bring me here if you don't want me to do the thing?
That's a good question. Why are you here?
Because I do the magic. I bend the fabrics of reality.
Oh, right, you're a liar. That's why.
I think End does the Groot scream, right? Like the I'm angry Groot plant scream, and then just runs out like sort of like dead person sobbing. I think he feels really bad.
Well, that was childish.
I have to agree. Back to what you were saying. I am not a liar.
I turn around and walk away.
Yeah. All right. I think that's scene, and now we come up with another challenge because we fucking failed that one, boys.
Hey,
It's a big old failure, boys.
Didn't need that shield anyway.
So I say we try and find him. Just try and find the Lich. I don't think we have another option.
No, I know what we do. So, Artie suggests that since we're not going to be able to nullify the Lich's magic, our only option is to have as many bodies as possible to absorb the Lich's attacks so that we can get up to him. And that way, we'll be able to get to the phylactery.
So we're going to raise an army?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in terms of turns...
Oh, it's not my turn. Sorry.
Well, no, but I'm totally picking that shit as a challenge, and I'm going to make... Wait, no, I already went. So no, we would go in clockwise order. I chose AP to be the person who makes the first scene, right? So no, it would be your turn. In a clockwise manner, so you get to choose the next challenge.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's we decide we have to raise an army because if we can't, we
can't beat him with quality. We have to beat him with quantity.
Exactly.
All right, got it.
Yeah, cool. So who sets the scene then? Is it me? No, it's not me, right?
It's me.
Okay.
I think.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily MTO. Sorry, I was finishing writing up the challenge here. It's actually whoever Sam designates.
Oh.
So this is the exact what you're supposed to do. Your player is going to pick which main character thinks would decide how to deal with this problem. You cannot pick your own main character.
Yeah, I think the logical option is Sir Castron, the knight, because he knows people. Does that seem reasonable to everyone else?
Yeah.
This mission is doomed. It's great.
So we're gonna have to convince everybody to fucking pick up plows and everything to just charge at this place. Is that the idea here?
Yeah, my question is, how many people are actually left?
I was thinking this is where we could bring in my Lord Minor character.
Okay, maybe we have to go grab the Count.
Yeah, maybe we have to go convince the Count to come and rally the conscript the peasants so that we have an army.
Okay. So
Is the Count's name Ron Swanson?
No, it's Count Humphrey.
Count Humphrey.
So here's the first scene. So I get to set up the first scene. The first scene is us on our way back from this temple to the kingdom, right? And this will be a scene of all of us in sort of the retinue, and Sir Castron's going to mention that if this is the plan and we have to get all these people, that we're going to need to get Count Humphrey on our side. And I say this to the group. I'm saying it's going to be really hard because Count Humphrey was the brother to Sir Darren Brightstaff. What are we going to do, guys?
And looks sad. And looks dead man melancholy, and maybe Olivia's trying to comfort him.
Chonk is just sharpening his sword.
My lord, Olivia, I think the ball falls in your court on this. None of us are noble, besides you and your brother.
God, this is going to be very difficult. I look at Bart.
I've never liked this Count. He's dismissive of my abilities.
You've never... Well, in the Count's defense, you never liked anyone, other than yourself.
In the Count's defense, you also haven't done anything yet, so...
I made that rock glow.
Listen, smearing magnesium on something doesn't make you a wizard.
That's not what I...
And think raising army wrong. We send thousands people to die.
All right.
They have more to live for.
No, let's break this down here, okay? It's pretty easy. The reason I'm here is to kill the Lich with the sword. Then you tell me you can't kill the Lich with the sword. So either you can kill the Lich with the sword and we gather an army to kill them, but then we don't need them because we have me. Or you can't kill the Lich with the sword and we don't need an army because you can't kill a Lich with the sword. Either way, there's no reason to bring an army. Although, if you want to pay me to train the army, I could happily use some more ale money.
I don't think you understand what happened if Lich stay alive. Lich stay alive, no ale left, everyone dead. And like it.
And that is why we need the army. We need to get to the Lich in order to defeat him. So,
Yes, but we're sending those people to their deaths.
I mean, if you're a wizard, why don't you just summon up a giant eagle or something? We'll fly there. That's what wizards do, right? Come on, bring on the giant eagle. Wherefore art thou, king of the wind?
I think Olivia like pipes up again, and she's like, I think that if we are going to raise an army, we are going to need help, and even if that, we aren't sure if it'll work.
Like this whole time, Barty, since Chunk said that, Barty's been like concentrating really hard.
Now you tilted, bro.
And he just produces a dove from his sleeve.
I'm a real magician.
There's a slow clap as Chunk is just like, yeah, I've seen that from street performers before. You just stuffed it in there and sewed it in a pocket. Really? I'm pretty sure they do that at noble birthday parties, okay?
Chunk is like, shut the hell up, David Blaine.
I think the dove lands on In's finger, and he's just like looking at it like, what?
Okay, Bastion.
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Okay, that's scene.
Yeah, that's
We're so fucked, guys. Alright. So it's who framed the scene?
Sam.
Sam, so it's my turn?
No, Sam
Wait,
frames the scene.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You go around clockwise.
So I think.
Oh no! Wait! No.
Sam
So
just framed the scene.
no, he didn't.
I just picked the challenge.
He picked the challenge and distributed authority or delegated authority to me to frame the scene.
Okay.
The person who picks the challenge picks the first person to do the first scene.
Okay, just checking.
Got it. Yeah.
So me next?
Yeah. So you're next.
Yes.
Okay. I think the next scene is the hall of Count Humphrey, where we're like trying to get him on board. I think it's probably a smaller cast. Like, I don't really know why like Chunk would be there, or the rotting corpse for that matter.
I don't think End would be there. Yeah.
When dealing with the noble lord. So I think it's probably just Barty and Sir Orlok, Sir Castrin Orlok. And I think before we go in, I think like the scene starts like us outside the doors, like getting like announced, and I just sort of like tap you on the shoulder and just go, Castrin, you have to talk. This lord doesn't like me.
I look at him like, he doesn't like me either.
Well, and I think like this is like when we start getting like ushered into the room. It's like,
Yeah.
you have to
Announcing.
And I'm like, no,
Sir
you. And like we're like looking at you like, no,
Castrin.
you do it. And you're like pointing it back to me. Yeah. All right. So who wants to play Count Humphrey?
Don't the minor characters also get played by their PC?
Well, not if Balthacras is in this scene. So like Sam designates somebody or someone volunteer, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Count Humphrey, your excellence, your eminence.
Oh, yes. How can I help the Warlock brothers?
Listen,
Thank you for a whole glass of
The
wine.
Aegis isn't gonna work out fighting this Lich, man. Um,
What happened to the Aegis? I thought you all had some brilliant plan to recover it from a temple in the deserts.
Well, you see, long ago, before we reached the temple, it must have been invaded by the Lich's terrible magics. We found a tremendous bone creature. Sir Castron's brave sword and my tremendous magics were all that kept us safe.
My
But
dear friend Balthy,
sir, yeah.
your magic is so amusing, but I doubt it is tremendous in nature.
Sir Brightstaff didn't make it. He says he speaks the truth.
So Bright's what?
Yeah.
How did he die?
Like I said, the Lich's magic.
Don't lie to me, Warlock.
No lies, Your Eminence. Totally lying.
he
I
was.
don't think he can tell.
I know. I think the thing is that it's like, listen, if we can't defeat it with the shield, then we're going to need the one thing that the Lich fears most, and that is human spirit. We're going to need a lot of people.
For a minute I thought you were serious.
No, we're very serious. We need an army.
And
And we need you at the head of the army, Count Humphrey.
I am not a military commander, so Orlok would be the one to do that.
I could do that. I could take charge of that. Sir Darren taught me well.
But more importantly, wouldn't raising an army simply give the Lich more bodies in the end to overwhelm those that Sue managed to survive the final battle when you fail?
Well, that's why we need you, Count Humphreys. I have a spell devised, one capable of breaking the Lich's magic in a way that we were going to try to use the Aegis to do so.
Aren't you the same wizard that tried to turn my wine glass into gold at one point, and all you did was make it leak?
No. I believe you have me mistaken.
I don't believe I do.
But anyway, your radiant blood, your noble lineage will allow me to... You will be able to strike down the Lich after I perform my spell. This is why we need the distraction of the army, you see. So that you can be the hero, Count Humphrey.
So that I can be the hero by sending my serfs to die, I will need to think about that for a while.
How
dismissed.
Your serfs will die if we don't defeat the Lich. This is the only way.
Indeed.
Sounds like I'm
I'm
down.
afraid this is the one-way mission for all of us. If we don't try, though, we're certainly dead anyways. You miss... you die on 100% of the missions you don't take. Sir Wayne of House Gretzky once said that.
Sir Wayne of House Dredsky. I had dinner with him once. He was a lovely, lovely man. Well, speaking of dinner, I'm having a lovely ball tonight. You all should attend. Then he, stands up and flounces off.
Yeah.
And I think that scene, not to just end the scene.
Yeah,
No, that's probably seen.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to sacrifice that guy.
I love it.
Okay.
So,
we're getting close to the hour mark again. So before we jump over to do the last two scenes, let's jump over to do our break, and then we'll come back for the next third hour of Once Upon a Game today. So see you guys in a little bit, everyone. Yay, games.
bye. Are we good?